Hi, welcome to Wise Guys. This video is on direct proportion and it is practice questions. It says practice questions 1, but there's actually not going to be a practice questions 2. I've incorporated all the questions into this one video. Okay, so what you can do here is pause the video, try the question, and then restart the video and I will walk through the question. Okay. So in this question, we have an alloy of iron and carbon that has a mass of 144 kilograms. If there are 23 parts, so there's 23 parts of iron for each part of carbon. Each part means 1 part of carbon. How much carbon, so the question is, how much carbon is in the alloy? And a lot of times when I'm working with questions like this, I like to draw a picture because it just helps me to see what's going on. So here we have our alloy. So there's our alloy. And we're told that 1 part is carbon. So there's our carbon. And that's a 1. And the rest of it is the iron, and that is 23 parts. So if 1 part is carbon and 23 parts is iron, then the alloy must be 24 parts. So sometimes it helps to just put a little table together and say, all right, so here we have carbon, and we have iron, and we have alloy. When it comes to the parts, we have 1 part carbon, 23 parts iron, and 24 parts alloy. The other piece of information we have here is that the alloy is 144 kilograms. Okay, so we know the mass of the alloy. We're being asked for the mass of the carbon. So this right here is what we're being asked for. So if this is mass, and this row here is about the parts. See if we can squeeze that in there. So that's the parts. This is the piece we're looking for. So looking at this, we can see the relationships and our unknown. So then I can say that I have 144 kilograms of alloy and 24 parts. So what we can do here is say that this is mass divided by parts. All right? And we're looking for the mass of the carbon. And the carbon is 1 part, and what we want is the mass. So when you look at it this way, you can see it's pretty straightforward. We don't really have to do anything. We normally would multiply both sides by 1, but when you do that, you're just going to end up with this number. So then the mass of the carbon, which is X, has to equal the 144 kilograms divided by 24. So the mass of carbon equals 144 divided by 24, which equals 6. And it would be 6 kilograms. Okay? So next question, and again you can pause the video, work through the question, and then come back and I will work through the question. Okay, so here we have a wire that is 290 meters long and it has a resistance of 1.48 ohms. The question is, how long is the wire of the same diameter that has a resistance of 4.15 ohms? Now, the resistance of a wire is dependent on its length, and of course this wire has the same diameter, so then they are directly proportional. What we're looking for here is length. So we can set up the proportion as length over resistance. And the reason I set it up that way is because we end up with length on the top. It's less work. So we're told here for this first wire that we have 290 meters and the resistance is 1.48 ohms. So these two are connected. For the next one, we know that the resistance is 4.15 ohms, and we are looking for the length of that resistor, or that wire, I should say. So we want X by itself. We multiply here by 4.15 ohms, multiply here by 4.15 ohms. These two equal 1. We end up with X equals 290 meters times 4.15 ohms divided by 1.48 ohms. Go to our calculator. 290 times 4.15 divided by 1.48 equals 813.1, which is 813. So 813 meters. And we know that the difference in resistance is about 3 times. So then the length should be approximately 3 times as long. So this is a reasonable answer. Okay, so last question. Again, you can pause the video and then turn it back on and I will walk through this question. All right, so this question says that in a university calculus class of 48 students, so this is total, right? Total number of students, there are 32 women. If this ratio is characteristic of all the classes in the university, how many men? So we're being asked how many men are enrolled in the university if it has 16,566 students in total. So let's set it up this way. Men, women, total. Okay. In a class, and here we're talking about a class. So in the class, the total is 48, and the number of women is 32. So the number of men in the class has to be 48 minus 32, which is 16, right? So we have 16 men. And in the school, we're told that the total is 16566 students. And the thing we're being asked for is the men. So sometimes a chart just helps you to see what's going on here. You can certainly use a different approach. This approach to me just seems simpler. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. So then our relationship has to be the 16 and the 48, the X, and the 16,566. So I'm going to set it up that way. 16 over 48 equals X over 16566 Multiply both sides by 16566. This is gone, and we're left with x equals 16566 times 16 divided by 48. So 16566 times 16 divided by 48 equals 5522. And that is the number of men. There you go. All right, so that's the end of that. And this was brought to you by Wise Guys. And I hope you have a good day. Take care.